Well, hello everybody. My name is Lindsay, and today I wanted to make a bunch of mostly lunches for my husband because I want him to do the carnivore diet with me, but I do feel like if I make him lunches, it'll be a little easier for him to do it with me. So I ordered a bunch of meal prep containers that I can fill up, throw in the freezer. He can grab one every morning. And so I'm gonna make a bunch of meat to last. I think I'm gonna make about 20 meals, and I'm hoping I'm gonna make that many. We'll see how many. It might be more. Reusable containers, so he can take them to work. He can fit them in his lunchbox, or at least he should. Actually, I want to test that. Make sure they fit in his lunchbox because he takes this with him, and voila, fits perfectly. Yay! And he usually puts like a ice pack in there, so there's enough room in here for that as well. So I pulled a bunch of meat out of my freezer so that we could just put it all together, hopefully throw it all together in a couple hours. I have burger patties for some lunches, so there's 12 burger patties. That was going to make 6 lunches, and then some pork belly and chicken thighs, which I was going to make like chicken nuggets and pork nuggets out of. I have sausage, and then I was thawing some ground beef to make meatballs, and I have a big pork butt that I'm going to put in my Instant Pot and just do pulled pork with some barbecue sauce. I have some sugar-free barbecue sauce. We'll see if Devin is okay with that. I think I'm going to start with the nuggets. Well, actually, I think I might start with the roast because that's going to take the longest. Okay, so it's been thawing in my fridge for a couple days. It's still fairly frozen, which is why I'm doing Instant Pot method. I usually do the Instant Pot method anyway, but I'm literally just gonna throw it in there with some seasonings. I have this Better Than Bouillon chicken base. It does have a small amount of sugar in it, and there's some like additives, but it's very minimal, so I feel okay about it. I mean, it's less than a gram of sugar for a teaspoon of this, and that's all you use for like the whole roast. So I think we'll be okay. If I can open it, I might need my strong husband to come open this for me. I'm just gonna whip up 1 cup of this. So you put 1 cup of like hot water and then mix this in, and about a teaspoon that I'm just gonna mix right in there. Yes, I know some of this stuff will have carbs and have some not ideal ingredients, so I am still like working my way into a carnivore diet, and my husband has never tried it before, so I'm just trying to make it as like, I don't know, easy as a transition for him as possible. Seeing if he wants to do it with me still. He says he will, but you never know. And anyway, so I am just trying to make it easier, and I do plan on going more strict as I go. Hopefully, we'll see. I am not as worried about all this like little ingredients here and there, but I would like to do a diet where I kind of cut everything out so I can see what triggers my symptoms, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm setting it for an hour and 30 minutes, and I'm just gonna let that go, and then I'll let it release at the end for, I don't know, an hour. Let it just kind of keep warm, and then we'll take it out and mix it with all the stuff. Okay. So I cut up all of the chicken already, and here I am just cutting up the pork belly, and it filled up these bowls, and then after I cut it up, I add an egg to each bowl so that you can like dredge it in the mixture of basically like breadcrumbs, but they're not breadcrumbs, obviously. Um, and then I got a couple trays with my silicone mats on them, and then here's me just breaking the eggs into them, and then I just use my hands and mix it in there and just kind of get it all mixed up. It makes it really simple and quick. My 3-year-old really liked the chicken nuggets a lot, so I think I'm gonna have to make some for him as well. And my hands were getting so cold while doing this part, But then I decided that I needed to crush up some pork rinds to make some pork pinko. And I just used a rolling pin and I just kept it in the bag to make it easy and threw it in a bowl so that I could kind of measure it out a little bit. And that's all I used for the whole day of ingredients, so that made it pretty easy. And so here I am just mixing up the bag of like the outside, which I used a ton of Parmesan and then probably a third of the Parmesan in pinko, the pork pinko. And then I did onion powder, garlic powder, and salt and pepper. And then I just kind of threw them all in there, mixed it up so that they were all covered, or at least mostly covered, and then threw them onto this pan, and I just did one bowl, one pan. So, and I just used like the Costco container of the chicken thighs, which are the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and that was perfect for one tray of these chicken nuggets. And they make about the size of like the Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, if you can think of it. And then the pork belly was a little bit bigger, and I would say it's about a pound, maybe a pound and a half of pork belly, so that made it pretty easy. So these ones I think will take a little longer to cook than the chicken, but I'm going to put them in at the same time and check them as they cook, and then the chicken will probably get done sooner. We're going to make some meatballs. So I have a pound of thawed out ground beef, and then some sausage, one egg, I think one should be enough, onion powder, some garlic powder, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper. I think I'm going to use most of these breadcrumbs, or breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to do some Parmesan in here as well. And bacon crumbled. All the dogs came a-running. Truly, they've been like hanging out by my feet this whole time. Oh, there's one jumping up on me. Okay. Let's do little treats. There's Coppers, Minnie, Milo, and Roxy. Alright. Okay, I'm just gonna take my ring off and dig in with my hands. This is how I make meatloaf too. You just dig in there with your hands. It's so much faster. If you notice that it needs more moisture, you can add a little milk or a little bit of water or more egg. This made 28 meatballs, which I was able to turn into 4 lunches, which was nice. But I stuck them in the freezer after rolling them up just until the chicken was done. So this and the pork belly is done. So I'm letting them cool off for a minute, but I'm gonna lay out meatballs on this tray and then transfer them onto one of the 2 trays because I don't want to have a ton of dishes to do. So I'm reusing dishes. We're using mats and stuff so that I can make it a little easier with the dishes situation. But I'm going to put the meatballs on here. I put them in the freezer so that they kind of hold their shape in the oven, and then we're going to cook them. That's all there is to it. These, I made sure that they were 165 internal temperature before I took both of them out so that they're fully cooked. I mean, they're pretty good. Not gonna lie, I did snack on the chicken the entire time. I was like, after washing my hands, of course, with all the things I touched, but I did wash my hands a lot in this video, I'm not gonna lie. But then there was also just kept snacking and snacking, and then I was like, why don't we just eat lunch? So we had some chicken nuggets for lunch and pork nuggets as well. And then this is me starting dinner. I didn't talk about this one. I just had a rack of pork ribs in my fridge that I'd been thawing out for a couple days or a day or so. And then I just salt and pepper both sides and rub it in there. And then I foil it all around and threw it in the oven at I think it was 275 for about 3 hours. Snacking on the chicken and pork nuggets. Devin says he likes the pork better, so, you know, good to know. I was able to make 2 lunches of each because we did eat like some of them for lunch. So I have 2 pork nuggets and 2 chicken nugget meals. Filled them about like that. So there should be a good amount in each one. And I'm just gonna throw these in the freezer. I did just kind of put little tabby sticky notes. I think I'm gonna maybe get some labels later, but just use these sticky notes for now. It works. These I checked for an internal temperature of 160, so they should be ready to go into the containers. So we're gonna do that really quick. Devin has taken one of these for lunch and he said that they're pretty good. He would say that they could have used a little bit more, so I might. For these, I'm just gonna throw some mozzarella cheese on top and then put the lids on. I put 7 meatballs in each one, which is about half a pound. I might do a little bit more in the next lunches. I told him he can take 2 lunches if he feels like he needs that much food, and he might, so I'm not worried about it. I still feel very good about how many are in the freezer, and he said he would eat a couple more meatballs per lunch, so I was like, I'll just try and add more next time. 4 more lunches. And along with these burger patties, I'm like, yeah, I think next time I will just do only 4 lunches for 12 patties instead of doing 6, because I feel like it's just not enough. It's not going to satiate him, and it might change as time goes on as well. Like, as he's been doing it for a while, he might even start fasting a little bit throughout the day, so I don't really know. I'm just doing what I can to make it a little easier for him, and I do want to start meal prepping some like chicken nuggets for my 3-year-old and things so that I can make it easy to make good choices, if that makes sense. But these look delicious. Just with the bacon crumbles on top, I thought they looked really good. I really love the Costco bacon crumbles because they make life easy. I put them in egg scrambles. I put them in like basically everything. I snack on them. Like when I'm hungry, I'm like, oh, might as well just eat some bacon, and they're pretty good, so would recommend. They are perfect for everything. And then here's my little toddler helping me put some no sugar added barbecue sauce. I know everyone's different. Everyone considers carnivore differently, and I like sauces here and there. I think that's going to be a hard thing for me to completely give up, and I might in the future. Right now, I don't see that happening until I kind of feel like I need to. And yeah, I don't know. Everyone's a little different. My husband comes from a very sauce heavy family, and I really like sauces too. Not quite as much as he does, but that's that's a topic for another day. But I do like sauces, and yeah, it just sometimes you gotta enjoy things, and you can't just look at life the same way every time, and you can't be perfect. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like 10 o'clock at night and I'm nursing the baby, so there's that. But I did make some steak and some ribs for dinner. The ribs got a little dried out because I was nursing the baby and I couldn't get to the oven before it dried out. So yeah, but they were still good. They were just a little bit overcooked, I would say. Not as fall off the bone as you'd want, and then the steaks were a little underdone, so that's how that meal turned out. I'm still trying to figure out how to make things like well. Devin's the steak maker in my family anyway, so I'll let him do that for the most part. He does it on the grill. It's awesome. And then here is a couple days later. Actually, I had just taken the pork out of the Instant Pot and I put it in the fridge for a couple days, and here I'm finally mixing it up, and I just added a little bit of sauce and threw it all into these containers. I made about 5 lunches with this and threw a little bit of shredded cheese on top for him, and it's just shredded pork, pulled pork, whatever you want to call it, and he hasn't tried this one yet, so we'll have to see if he likes it. Alright guys, so this is the finished product. I made 20 meals. Technically, this one's a fake, but I had to get a thumbnail. Devin already took one of them to work. He took some of the cheeseburgers, And so I'm gonna have to ask him how he liked it. This is just 2 cheeseburgers. You saw what I made, and I made all the pulled pork. I feel like they're pretty good meals. Hopefully he'll tell me which ones he likes the most, and if he didn't like some of them, and we will, you know, make it work. So I'm really glad we made 20. That will last 4 weeks, and depending on if he remembers to take them every day, but for the most part, it will be about 4 weeks of meals for him. So I'm really excited. I'm happy that he will have lunches, homemade lunches that are nutritious. So that's kind of what I wanted to get done, and maybe he'll do carnivore with me. He did say he was going to, but it's, you know, it's one of those things that you kind of have to just do and not say you're going to do, but do. So that's what I'm trying to get into. Let's do this, guys. And if you didn't already know, I am starting a carnivore challenge on August 1st. So if you guys are wanting to do it with me, even if you just want to go mostly carnivore, mostly meat based, then that would be great. So comment down below what you're planning to do, and I hope this gave you some inspiration to either make yourself some meals for the future lunches and to take to work, or even just to meal prep in general, because it does help sometimes. And I will have these containers linked down below if you guys wanted them. They were just from Amazon, so nothing too exciting, but I'm gonna go stick these back in the freezer, and then these ones in the freezer for the first time, because I had to pull them out to take my pictures and show you guys how many I made. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye! And here they are in all their glory in my freezer next to the small amount of meat that we have left over from when we bought a third of a quarter of a cow. But yeah, there's my freezer. Yep.